What is up, my fellow budget travelers? In today's video, I'm taking you down to the Bahamas. I stayed at Atlantis for this trip, so I plan to tell you everything I ate, everything I did, and even though this property is massive, I did a pretty good job of covering it all. As soon as you land, you're going to have to go through customs and all that stuff. It actually moves pretty fast. It didn't take that long, and you're met with this awesome band. Listening to them definitely helps with the whole immigration process, gives you something to listen to and dance to. We were very excited to be there, so we were dancing. And we had arranged our shuttle through Atlantis, so we headed over to the shuttle dock and checked in over here. From there, you get a nice air-conditioned shuttle all the way over to Atlantis. It's not that far. The island is pretty small, surprisingly, so it only took us about like 20 minutes, I want to say, to get to Atlantis itself. And on the way to Atlantis, you're going to drive through Nassau, and you're also going to drive past where the fish fry markets are and everything. So those are the two popular places to go right outside of Atlantis. So make sure you check them out, and if there's anything that catches your eye, maybe it's worth a trip there. But as I said, Atlantis is such a sprawling property. You're probably going to be spending most of your time on Paradise Island, because Paradise Island is also its own little island. You see here they even have their own toll bridge and everything. And there's also a number of bars and restaurants right across the street from Atlantis. For this trip, we stayed at the Cove, which was awesome because they give you all this merch, like a beach bag and this water bottle, which we used a lot. It was hot. They have like water fountain areas all over the property for you to refill your water bottles. But I had a taste for a different kind of water. Make sure you try Sands beer. It's local to the Bahamas. And we were starving, so we got the jerk chicken sandwich and the blackened fish sandwich. These were so good, and we got them over at this place, Cascades. For everywhere I eat, I'll show you the menu so you have an idea of what we were able to do on a budget. I'll show you some of my favorite places that we ate at and some of the cheapest places too. So after we ate, of course, we had to go check out that beautiful Bahamas water. I mean, look, it is so pretty. Even though it was overcast this day, it was still such a pretty color blue. And also in this part, there is a lot of water life. Just to warn you, I almost stepped on a stingray, and there's a lot of sea turtles that are just swimming out in the ocean over there once you swim out. Which, that was crazy to swim with real sea turtles. It's so cool. And then they have these little hermit crabs that are just everywhere. You'll see them all over the place. It started to rain a little bit, so we were going to head back to the room, but the line for the elevator was really long, so we decided to just kind of walk around and explore instead. And I'm happy we did because I came across an espresso martini. And keep in mind, whenever you order anything, tip is already included. It's 15%. We made our way back up to the room and watched as the storm clouds blew over the way, and then we also watched as some cruise ships came out of port and into the fog. And then it really started to rain, so we were like, oh, let's go eat again. What I really appreciate about Atlantis is they do a lot to keep you dry. There's different covered walkways, and then they also have free shuttles from different lobbies, so just make sure you're on the right shuttle for the right lobby, and off you go. We headed over to the marina tonight for dinner, and she was so excited to show me this place because they have really good conch soup. So while we were waiting for a table, we kind of looked around the marina in the area a little bit and peeped in some people's windows. I don't know if you've ever watched that show Below Deck, but it was kind of cool to watch it in real life with everybody cleaning the ships and waiting on people for dinner and stuff like that. It was really fun. Now, as you can see here, since it was our first day, we didn't think about making a reservation, but for the rest of the time in Atlantis, reservations are key, guys. Make sure you make reservations to places you want to go, otherwise you'll be waiting forever. These places get packed. But how cool is this Bahamian restaurant? I was so excited to try it out. Here's some of the things on the menu. So I do apologize because at this point we were starving and I forgot to take a video of the conch soup, but it was so worth the hype, so definitely try the conch soup. And this is the Bimini Road ribs. We've got the rice and beans here and the mac and cheese as our two sides that come with it. So good. At this point we were pretty tired from the day of travel and being at the beach all day and swimming and stuff, so we headed back to the room. We took the shuttle right off at the Royal here, but first we watched some of these crazy lightning storms. This was such a great night to come back to the Cove. I mean, there was a lightning storm and there was all this really cool blue lighting. It was such a vibe. Guys, if you're gonna stay at Atlantis, I really suggest trying to go to the Cove. We were here because we got a comped room with our Caesars rewards cards. So guys, rewards cards are totally worth it. For whatever reason, when we got back to the room, we were sitting on the balcony and I got so much energy while my friend fell asleep. So I watched the lightning storm for a while, but then I got back on the shuttle and headed back to the casino because there was a bunch of lounges and stuff in there that I wanted to check out. So I stayed out there for the rest of the night and had a great time. I woke up with as much energy as I had went to sleep with, so of course I woke up wanting to explore. So since nobody was in the seats, I went and checked out the fish that are in the koi fish pond over here. But there's all kinds of fish in here. I didn't even realize there's like all kinds of fish. Like, what the heck is this fish? And all the lily pads were in bloom, where yesterday they were all closed, so that was cool to see. I jumped in the shuttle and figured I would get off whatever the first stop was, and for this shuttle trip it was the Coral. So it was really fun to walk through their lobby and everything. They've got dolphin fountains and these really cool light fixtures, and they had a Starbucks. Hey Starbucks. So I walked around, did a little bit of window shopping. I walked around back through the marina. Now that it was daytime, I could see even more of the ships and everything. But then it started drizzling again, so I figured why not head back into the Royal and look around in there a little bit more. I know they have a Barbie pop-up, so I went to go check that out. And it was definitely for kids, but it was cute to watch them play around for a little while, and there was a live band. And then my friend texted me that she was awake and it had stopped raining, so I figured time to hit the beach again. So I met her over at the bar back in the Cove, and we just spent a lot of the day just sitting around at the beach, loving the weather. And it was actually nice that it was overcast because neither of us burned at all this trip. For dinner, we ended up making kind of early reservations because we had skipped lunch. We just basically were full from the day before because we ate so much at Bimini. So we actually spent a couple hours eating at Chopstick, and we had such a yummy dinner. I would say they're probably the most affordable of all the restaurants on Atlantis, and they have a really fun medley of food. So you could come here multiple times. We ended up coming here multiple times. Spoiler alert. But the food was so good here, we just had to come back, and it was so cheap, we just had to take advantage. We went with the meat puff pastry and the bao buns. And the Singapore rice noodles were so good. It's like a curry sauce. And after dinner, my friend went to go gamble at the casino, and I went up to the nightclub because I'm the dancer, she's the gambler. So it was really fun just hanging out by myself, listening to the DJ. Nobody really bothers you. People are super chill. It's a really fun nightclub. And it's free for girls who are guests. So we stopped by the aquarium really quick before we jumped in the shuttle to head back to the room, check on the fish, see what they were up to. They were just chilling, and it looks really cool at night. So we were like, tomorrow when we have more energy, we'll have to come back. For day 3, I woke up early because I wanted to watch the sunrise. So I walked through the adults only pool, and I really like how it was all lit up and everything. It's super peaceful because not that many people are out. You will see a lot of people running, which I think is fun, but otherwise, you have the place to yourself. I was a little disoriented when I came down, so I asked around, and this seems like the best spot to watch the sun come up. Watching the sunrise was definitely worth it, but these really freaking mosquitoes. Make sure you wear repellent because they bit up all my legs and stuff. But the view is worth it, guys. It's so pretty. So I think over here is the best place to watch it in front of this thing. Even though it was overcast, you could see that this is a really good spot to come out and watch the sun come up. And it's fun to see all of the pools and everything illuminate with the sun. I also found this pita place, which looks really yummy, so I would definitely come back here. That's over by the Cove. But I was in the mood for Starbucks, so I headed over to the Reef, which is the nearest Starbucks to the Cove. And I got my friend a coffee, and then I was checking out this art for a little bit because usually there's a line to go up to the elevator or something, and this was like a nice quiet moment that I could really check it out. So after I picked up my friend, surprise, surprise, we headed down to the beach again. And it's really pretty early in the morning because you can see some algae and things. Most of it was gone by the time I got down there, but I considered getting up early again the next day and coming down, but I knew tonight was going to be a casino night and I still had a lot of property to explore, so I figured I would be tired by the end of the day. The other funny thing about the island is you're going to see a lot of huge snails and lizards and like slimy slugs on the sidewalk, so just watch where you're stepping. Now that I had coffee in my system, I went back over to the Reef so I could actually enjoy it instead of just be looking for coffee. They have this really cool driftwood in their lobby right at the front desk. And then they also have these cool areas where you can just sit and chill and relax and read a book. I saw a lot of people reading throughout the day, and it's just this cool sanctuary of all wood. So to finish my coffee, I went over to my usual spot to check on my fish that I don't know what it is. And this time I went over to where the koi fish are too. They are huge and they're so cute. They're really pretty. I heard somebody talking about dolphins, so I was like, they have dolphins here? That's crazy. So I went down to the Dolphin Cay and I just sat in the cafe over here and just watched people play with dolphins. And honestly, that was more fun because it's so cool to just see everybody so happy and all the dolphins are like swimming around, but I'm not close enough to them to have to like smell them or anything, but you can still enjoy seeing the dolphins. And you don't have to pay anything. It's free to watch. So by now I definitely have some favorites. I love staying at the Cove and hanging out at that beach every day. That's the best beach. But I would say the Royal has the most to do. It is so fun over here. There's so many things to do. So I every day ended up at the Royal always. That's also where the casino is. Like for example, they have this Father's Day brunch set up. Every time I walk in there, you don't know what you're gonna see. And check out this architecture. It is so cool. So I really like the Royal. And I still haven't seen the dig yet. I need to do that today. Actually, at this point, I haven't seen any of the animal things. So I saw that they had a feeding, so I went over to check that out. And they have feedings, I think, every day around noon. It was around noon when this was. So just check that feeding schedule because everything comes up to the top and you can see everything really clearly. I explored a little bit, but mostly I was there for the water park, so I wanted to check out the water park today, so let's get in there. Atlantis in the Bahamas has a whole ton of stuff for you to explore as you're finding out, but they have a specific bucket list to keep you on track. So I made a whole separate video about that, so make sure you check that out next at the end of this video. As I was walking through the water park, I saw the lazy river, and this thing is like a mile long. I considered going on it, but the sun started to peek out and I was like, you know what, screw the water park, let's go and get our tan on. Also, my friend had woken up again, so she was like, come to the adult only pool, they've got a DJ. So of course I ran over here. We ended up staying at the pool for most of the day until the DJ set was almost over, and then we were getting the munchies, so we went over to the other pool because they have fresh fruit every day. And this stuff is so juicy and fresh. There's something about island fruit that just knocks it out of the park every time. We also wanted to make the most of swimming with the sea turtles, so we headed back to our beach spot and we took a little walk over to the sanctuary area. This is another thing that's on their bucket list, and it was actually really cool. They even had carved wood in the shape of like dancing women. And by now it was dinner time again, so you know we had to go find somewhere to eat. We We considered doing pizza, but here's the prices just so you have it. But my friend had been playing craps all night the night before while I was at the nightclub, and she met some people who work on the yachts that dock in the marina. So they said to go to Anthony's, which is right across the street from the marina. And they said it's like the best seafood in town, and the prices are amazing, guys, especially staying in Atlantis. For the same meal you would have inside Atlantis, the prices are way better at Anthony's, and the seafood is just as good because, you know, it's an island and all seafood is good on the island. So I really suggest coming over to Anthony's. Their drinks are really good as well. But here's an idea of all they have to offer. We started off with the calamari and the pork belly. Both were really good, and we had a couple cocktails and a couple beers. We may have started dancing in this area with a DJ. Okay, actually, we did start dancing while we were eating, so I forgot to film what food we ate after the calamari and the pork belly. But then we walked back over into the Royal, and we went into the casino. My friend was in the mood to play craps, so I just sat around and played pop craps and roulette, because those are only like a couple dollars to play, where she was playing on table games. And then we went into the dig because I wanted to see it at night because it looked so cool the other day. So check this out. So into this. This gift shop was probably my favorite gift shop because it had piranhas in it, but they also have a lot of Atlantis stuff. And if you want to swim with the turtles, I really suggest buying a snorkel here. They have them for sale because you get really up and close with the sea turtles, as I keep telling you guys. My friend went back to play some more craps, so I decided to have a little photo shoot outside and admire some of the scenery. And then it was time to hit the nightclub. Yes, again, I went to the nightclub every night. I'm a dancer, guys. And tonight was really fun because they had this really cool laser show going on. It was really fun. The next morning, as usual, while my friend was sleeping, I went out and explored. And this time I actually went into the water park and looked around more than just kind of doing a glimpse. I went on a whole adventure, guys. They have so many hidden things. Like this was this hidden grotto slide. So you go down the slide and it dumps you in this underground cave. Like how cool is that? The lazy river was bumping today. I want to say today was a Saturday, if I remember. It was definitely like a weekend day, so a lot more people were out and about doing stuff. And by the way, the lazy river is self-propelled, so it's got different things that like shoot you out and shoot you around. Everybody knows about Atlantis's water slides, but do you know they have beaches all over the place? So each lobby has its own beach area. So this one over here was the Royals beach area. Over at the Royal, they've also got a beach market, which they have vendors come in and they've got all kinds of cool artwork and all kinds of stuff over here. Clothes, you think of it, they've got it basically. As I was walking through the market, I saw something in the distance that caught my eye. It was like this huge sprawling bar. And on my way over there, I saw a hammerhead shark inside these waters and I saw all kinds of things going on. I was like, what is happening? There was a sawfish in there as well. And then I realized I was at the predator tunnel. This is a whole underground thing and it's all sharks and stuff in here. So I was so excited to go check it out. And on your way to the entrance, you're going to cross over this rope bridge, which was so cool. If you're liking this video, please hit that like so other people can find me in the algorithm. You know I do everything on a budget, so even though Atlantis may seem expensive, there's still budget options. If you're staying at the Cove in Atlantis, everything I've shown you is absolutely free, except for the food, of course, but hit that subscribe because I'm going to make so many videos about this place. It was my favorite, guys. This is the number one. You're going to love it. I'm so excited to show it to you because there was absolutely nobody in here when I was in here. Somehow, miraculously, like this was the best time ever. I spent like hours in here and I literally this was my spot and I just stood here and watched everything swim right over my head. Like, what? It's so cool. So as I reached the end of the Predator tunnel, I realized that I could have just gone in where the bar was. So next I wanted to explore some more of the coral because I had heard about this area here, which is filled with manta rays, and they have baby turtles over here. How cute are they? And walking through the coral spits you back out at the marina, so I still had some time to kill before my friend was going to wake up. So I was like, let me go get a Starbucks and just explore over here and see what's going on in the shops and all that fun stuff. And I stumbled upon a Barbie pop-up shop over here, which was so cute inside. I had also only seen this huge statue at night, so I wanted to see what it looked like in the daytime when all the sunlight was reflecting off of it. Atlantis is filled with artwork, so everywhere you go, you're gonna see really cool stuff. I mean, even just looking at Atlantis itself is breathtaking in its own way. And there's so much stuff to do here. It's a little overwhelming because the property is just so massive, and everywhere you look, you're like, oh, there's something to do over there. Oh, there's something to do over there. Oh, look, there's something to eat over here. Like, there's just everywhere you go, there's just stuff. Oh, and just so you know, it is a cashless resort. So you're going to have to bring your credit card everywhere. You're not going to be able to pay cash anywhere you go. And that's everywhere on property, restaurants, everywhere. I'm not really a water park person, but it was really fun to walk through because look at this slide. It goes right through the shark tank. How crazy is that? And after I explored, it was time to head back to the beach, get my tan on. So I grabbed my mojito and spent the rest of the day at the beach as usual. By the way, we did end up getting the snorkels I was talking about, so we were swimming with the turtles and watching this duck swim by. We made our way back to the room for our last sunset, and once the sun went down, it was time to go eat again. And you saw those Singapore rice noodles, you knew we had to go back for those. And sorry, it's been a couple months now, so I can't remember what that meat was. Sorry about that. It was delicious though. So after dinner, we were stuffed, so we had to walk that off. So we headed over to the Royal and we were just walking around and we started to hear this music. But it ended up being just a private event, so we weren't able to go inside. But I did want to show you guys Shake Shack. I didn't end up eating there this trip, but that's another affordable option in Atlantis. And for the rest of this night, honestly, we just walked the grounds again. It was our last night, so we just took it all in. The weather was beautiful, the ocean was oceaning, and it was just such a vibe. We had a great time. For our last day, we woke up as early as possible, and we spent the day just, again, walking around and trying to see stuff one last time that we liked. I love these starfish. I thought they were so cute, so I had to go back and see them again. This horseshoe crab I thought was really cool too because I'd never seen one up close and personal, so I thought that was really fun. I went back and saw the hammerhead shark because that thing was huge. I was like, I have to go see that again before we leave. And we also went and saw the sawfish again. Those things are huge as well. It's just so, I can't explain it when you're standing next to something. It's just so powerful and majestic at the same time. And I don't know, it just kind of blows my mind how life works sometimes. Because I've never been like a water girl. I don't really like swimming in the ocean and not knowing what's swimming around you. But there was something about Atlantis that made ocean life so romantic, and I just became at one with the fish. Like, I even found myself standing in the dig, just kind of staring at fish like, we're friends now. I'll remember you forever. So it really makes an impact when you're that up close and personal with marine life. So I love that about Atlantis. You really feel like you're submerged in the ocean and you're part of this world that is underwater. I don't know. It's hard to explain unless you go, but hopefully this video has convinced you to go, because now I have to go back to Ohio and it's going to be freezing. The Bahamas are beautiful. The weather was perfect. And if you guys want to check out what the airport looks like so you know exactly what to expect when you come down to Atlantis, I have this video here. Otherwise, I've got plenty of other videos like the one I was talking about, the top 10 things to do that are free inside Atlantis. So check those out. And in the meantime, let me know what you're going to eat first. What are you going to do first? I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you in the comments.